Democritus and Leucippus. And these are also in the 5th through the 4th century BC or BCE. And these two guys, Democritus and Leucippus, are collectively called the atomist, because their idea was it wasn't just 4 elements or 4 seeds from which everything else came, but there were like all kinds of seeds. These invisible, they're too small to see when they're broken down to see with the human eye, but they believed, so like that nautilus shell was taking these little seeds or particles of other shells, and that's what it was building its shell from. Its flesh, it was taking little particles from the environment to build flesh. And so it's not like these particles are like the shapes of little tiny shells, and if you get enough of them together, you see a big shell. But the underlying material is that calcium or that calcium carbonate that they're using to build shells. Same thing with humans. It's not like my beard, if I took a strand of my beard and we magnified it, it's not like we would see tiny little beard particles making up a strand of beard hair, and then collectively they make my beard. But it would be like some hair particle that has been broken down. Like when I die, my beard will break down eventually, go back into the environment, and then the next guy that's growing a beard or person growing hair may be able to take those invisible seeds, and that could come from like eating a carrot or eating grass or eating an animal that had eaten those things, and it is being transferred, those particles, into my system. And then my body, this is not the Greeks, but modern day we would explain, my genetic blueprint would be able to take those elements that I've digested and have come into my system, and it can use it to build cells, to repair cells, to grow hair, to grow nails, to grow teeth, to grow flesh, to repair damaged tissue. And when I die, all these different particles will break down and go into the world from which they came. A tree would be made up of little wood particles or little bark particles. A peach would be made up of little peach particles, little pit particles. And when they break down, they go back into the environment.
So this is like their version of atoms.
Exactly. And so when modern science actually discovered the atom, they named it the atom based on Democritus and Leucippus to honor them, because they had come up with this without electron microscopes or ways that we perceive atoms today. And so in honor of these two ancient Greeks who were materialists, they believe everything was physical material. They didn't believe in soul or spirit or afterlife. They believed we were simply a collection of particles that formed us. We would live our lives, and then they would break down and go back into the mashup for the next creature to come and tap into.